Immigrant Survival Show for millions of immigrants. America is not just a country. It is a dream of freedom, opportunity, and a better life. But behind the dream lies a system filled with confusion, fear, and life-changing consequences. One mistake can destroy everything, but the right knowledge can change everything, helping immigrants achieve the American dream without the nightmares. The Immigrant Survival Show. This is where knowledge becomes power. Welcome to another exciting edition of the Immigrant Survival Show with Dr. Ope Banwo and the Four Musketeers. Today we are going to be going to day 10 of the 30 days of Immigrant Survival Marathon, where we come out every day to talk to you about developments in immigration law, how to survive it, and of course to also share memos that can help every one of us to be better, to survive in this country. In other words, how to achieve your American dream without the nightmares. And as always, we always start with the memo of the day, which is where I talk about a pressing issue in immigration that I believe is relevant to all immigrants, whether you have your papers or you don't have your papers. It does not matter. This is about me speaking to the immigrants, mostly, of course, those who don't have their papers yet, and those who do have their papers, to make sure they don't lose it. Now that we know that even being a citizen does not necessarily guarantee you continued enjoyment of your American dream. So let's get to it. The memo of today is going to be on surviving the season of enforcement. And I will be talking about 7 things that you need to do, in other words, in order to survive. 7 things every immigrant should do right now in order to survive the season of enforcement. Once again, welcome to the Immigrant Survival Show with Ope Banwo and his 4 Musketeers. So we're going to get to it, and I want to appreciate every one of my team members who have been working hard to make this a successful show. Thank you so much for your labor of love and for providing the support that I need to make this a great experience for every immigrant out there. Without you, I couldn't make this show happen. So thank you so much. So tonight, let's talk about something that is on the minds of practically every immigrant all across America: immigration enforcement. No matter where you stand politically, whether you are Republican, you are Democrat, you are non-aligned, one thing is clear. We are living in a season of increased immigration enforcement in America. There are more raids in the news, more policy changes. The policy changes are literally every day now. That's why we even include updates of the day in every one of our shows for this month of June. Every day there is more scrutiny, more uncertainty. And naturally, many immigrants are worried. I am worried, and I'm a lawyer. Some are scared. Some are confused. Some are listening to every rumor that appears on WhatsApp, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, and social media as if it's a statement directly from Donald Trump, even when it's not. But tonight, I want to talk to you about something very important as part of my memo for today. And hopefully, every one of us can take 1 or 2 things away from this show. Fear is not a strategy. Panic is not a strategy. Rumors are not a strategy. Preparation is a strategy. So today, let me give you tonight's main takeaway right now, just in case you don't even want to listen to the end of this memo. The immigrants most likely to survive this season of enforcement in immigration law are not always the ones with the best status. They are often the ones who are best prepared. Because right now, for even many immigrants, immigration don't care about your status, but are you prepared? So tonight, let me give you 7 things every immigrant should be doing right now. Whether you're legal or illegal or trying to figure it out, 7 things you should be doing right now, not next month, not next year, right now, beginning today. Hopefully you have your notes out and you can really begin to take notes now. Number 1, know your immigration status. I talk about this almost every night now. Number 1, know your immigration status. You'll be surprised how many people don't actually understand their immigration situation. They know they came on a visa, but they don't know what type. They don't know when it's expired. They don't know whether an application is pending. They don't know what benefits they qualify for. They don't know their options. My friends, you cannot protect what you don't understand. Know where you stand. Know your history. Know your deadlines. Know your options before you have to choose. Because ignorance has destroyed more immigration cases than ICE would ever do. I know, because this is what I deal with on a daily basis. I have people in America who don't even know when their I-94 expired. They came on a visit. They got into the airport, but they don't know the exact day their I-94 expires, for instance. They only know that they have a 2-year multiple entry visa on their passport, as if that is what counts once they have entered America. The expiry date on your passport don't count once you get in. What counts is I-94. And unlike before, that they give you a card at the point of entry that is stapled on your passport so that you can read for yourself, now they don't give you. You have to go to the website of the CBP to even know what days they told you, and not assume it's 6 months. Now they are giving 6 weeks to some. They're giving 4 weeks. They're giving 3 months. I've even seen somebody that was given 2 weeks, incredibly. So you can't assume that you're being given 6 months because you come. That's just one thing. That those who have been here for years, they really don't know what their status is. They don't know what they're supposed to do next if they want to continue to stay here. They just stay with people they stay with, and they expect those they stay with to enlighten them, when many times even the person you are staying with is more ignorant than you are about what is going on in immigration law. Ignorance has destroyed more immigration cases than ICE will ever do. Somebody has problem in his country. Maybe he has problem with the husband's family or her wife's family, maybe because she had a baby and they want to circumcise the baby. They quarrel. I don't want you to circumcise my baby. Carry her baby, run. Or she herself is from a place where they like to do all sorts of women. And you get to America, you are not talking to people about what to do about that. You are just happy you are here. You are looking for people to work here and there, how to work illegally. Then 1 year passed. Finally, somebody told you could have found asylum. And now, because you didn't do it within the first 1 year, now you have to be explaining. Now you are no longer automatically qualified to file anymore. You have to tell them why you did not file within the first year. It was the ignorance. It's killed many people. I have consulted with people when I was still in Omaha. There's a gentleman that was a slam dunk for EB1, slam dunk, had a PhD, has published 4 books in his vertical, had several reviewed articles while he was still doing his master's, more than 18 of them. But he came in here, he kept filing for extension of status. When he could have gone for EB1, slam dunk, gotten his green card. By the time he came to me 2 years later, after they have denied the 3rd B1, B2 extension, and now he's panicked, what does he do? I start talking to him, then I'm realizing that this guy has 4 out of 10 requirements for EB1, 4. And he has never heard of EB1 before in his life. Doesn't even know what it is. How can I extend his visa? My visa is what the man is asking me. Ignorance. know where you stand. Even if you don't have any standing, at least know, be clear. Number two, what you should do to survive this season of enforcement. You don't waste your time arguing about whether they should enforce their law or not enforce their law. This is not your country. You came here. So you can't be quarreling with Donald Trump for trying to enforce the laws of his country. What a smart person will do is figure out how you will survive. Number two thing you should do is organize your documents. This sounds simple, and I've said this before in this past 10 days. So I'm saying it again. This may sound simple, but it can save you enormous headaches. Keep your important documents together. Your passport, your approval notices for whatever it is you filed, your work permits if you have any, your green cards, your birth certificates, your marriage certificates, your immigration receipts for anything you have filed, your court records, if you have court problems, everything. You need to keep them together. I've seen people spend months trying to replace documents they should have protected in the first place. I have a client that was able to help file his asylum. He got his work permit, and then he lost his work permit. Unfortunately for him, one day the company just said, go and bring your work permit. And he doesn't have it. One of the most protected documents that you should have. Now he has to pay me to try to help him get a replacement. And we have filed now 9 months for replacement of that work permit. We have not gotten it. And he has not been able to work because of that. Okay, you're not going to tell them with mouth, I have a work permit. You can't even show them the approval letter and they will let you work now. They don't do that anymore. They need to see that physical document. They need to make a photocopy of it for their file in case they get raided by immigration. I'm telling true stories. A client in Dallas. That was even when I was still in Omaha. And a very educated man. It's not an illiterate. He had a master's degree. He's been here 8 years. He lost his work permit. And didn't even think of replacing it until the job. Say, where's your permit? Now it's 9 months. Now we are still waiting. I'm talking about stuff like that. It sounds casual. I also have heard of a client, not a client of mine, a client of a friend, who actually had an asylum pending, meaning that he had a receipt notice in his hand. He went and traveled. He was going to Rhode Island. I think Rhode Island from New York, something very short distance. And he happened to be singled out among the people they want to check. He had his driver's license, which obviously you can't get unless you have some kind of paper. But he has no immigration, anything to show. They put him in jail. They put him in jail because they said it's an illegal alien. The man is saying, no, I have an asylum file, but he has no proof of it in his hand. He called his house. His wife doesn't know where the paperwork is. And everybody running up and down, And then he called, this is my friend thing, and they had to start looking. And because he did it by himself, before he went to a lawyer to help him with maybe making the thing better, just in case they call him for interview, even the lawyer didn't have a photocopy of it. He spent more than 3 weeks in jail, when he could have just showed them the document and walk away. He doesn't know where they are. You got to put them together. Don't just say we're going to do it. Your passport, approval notice that you got, or a receipt notice that you have filed something. Where you can show immigration that you have filed something, they're not just going to try and deport you like that. Your work permits, obviously, your green cards, your immigration receipts, everything. In times of uncertainty, organized people sleep better than disorganized people. The fact that you have some kind of legal paper to be here will not prevent you from being thrown in jail if you can't produce it when it's required. I'm not joking with you. Especially if they catch you at the airport. You're not going to tell them I have work permit or I have approved kiniko, and you can bring it right there. They will march you to jail from there. And then getting yourself bond becomes a big problem. Not only will you get a very high bond, if they give you one, if you're lucky to get one, You're going to pay your lawyer a lot of money to come and try to help you out. To get organized. This is not the season to be careless with where your documents are. Number 3, and I want to beg you with this, this is very important. Stop getting legal advice from social media. This one may hurt a little, but somebody's got to say it. Not every person with a Facebook account is an immigration expert. Not every TikTok video is legal advice. Not every WhatsApp voice note is accurate. Every week I tell people, I meet people who tell me, Dr. Ope, somebody on Facebook said, or my cousin's friend told me this. And my favorite is, I saw it on TikTok, as if TikTok is Jesus Christ. My friends, immigration law is too important to outsource to rumor merchants. Get your facts from reliable sources because bad advice can be very expensive. And there's a lot of crazy people out there. Some people just sit down and make stuff up. Sometimes you read a 2 or 3 page advice or so-called release from the government. Meanwhile, somebody that sat down and just made it up. Maybe use a ChatGPT or maybe use another tool, and it will make a lot of sense when you are reading it. But it's fake. There was a hilarious situation, even though this has nothing to do with immigration. My wife was laughing. My wife is a nurse. She said there was a guy that was in the psychiatric ward at a hospital who got released. And he saw the man giving medical advice. He's not a doctor. He's not even a nurse. Okay? Giving medical advice on Facebook, on video. Like a real doctor. I'm talking about why it is good for you to have a high blood pressure, that they are deceiving you. The high blood pressure is good for this group, and it's making sense with what he's saying because he went to do research somewhere and combining rishi. So and people will listen to that man and think that they are listening to a human being. Same way with immigration. Lots of rumors out there. Many times those rumors end up being true, don't get me wrong, but many times it is twisted beyond recognition, and if you act on it, you can turn your own immigration dream into a nightmare. So stop taking your advice from social media. Be smart enough to go to immigration websites, to go and double check whatever it is that you are hearing, or call your lawyer. Sometimes your lawyer don't know. Sometimes I don't know. Sometimes a new development comes out and I'm hearing it from my own clients. And there's nothing shameful about that. I have a life. I'm still sleeping. I wake up at 7 a.m. and I'm getting 3-4 calls from my clients. Oh, this one has happened. Did you read this one about immigration? And all I always tell them is, give me some time. Let me go check it out myself. It don't matter that I'm a lawyer. They change this thing every day. Just today, about 4 or 5 immigration updates. I'm going to get to it in a minute. It changes every day. So you need to know how to confirm, because bad advice can be very expensive. Number 4, you must have an immigration emergency plan. Oh yeah, you must have an immigration emergency plan. It's like somebody who lives in those states where hurricane always happens. They tell you have a plan where you're going to run to when things go bad. Same way for immigration. You need to have an immigration emergency plan, especially if you have children. You have to ask yourself, if something unexpected happened tomorrow, what will happen to my children if immigration comes to get me? Because immigration is not going to help you take care of your children. You have to understand that. If you are lucky, maybe they will put your children in the welfare system. Maybe that's not where you want to be, in the foster system. Maybe you don't want your children there. You have to ask yourself the tough question, especially if you don't have solid papers yet. But we know even those with citizenship can also face problem with immigration these days. We're already seeing it. As long as you are an immigrant, you need to understand, understand that every one of us is touchable. As long as you are not born here. They've said so. They have people who are looking at cold files to see if you lie to get your green card or to get your citizenship so that they can take it away from you. So you can't assume that because you have that blue passport, you are now safe. So you must have a plan, an emergency plan. What will happen to my children if they come for me? Who will pick them up from school? Because immigration is not going to wait for you to go to school to go get your children. I see it every day. They're going to put handcuffs on you and they're going to put you in the van. And before you know it, you might be living in Nebraska. They are taking you to Atlanta. Yes, I've gone to Atlanta to go represent clients that were in Nebraska before. And I'm representing people in Nebraska who used to live in Atlanta. It don't matter. They'll take you to wherever they want to take you. And they have the right to do that. So you have to say, who will pick up your children from school? Who knows where my documents are? In case I don't have them with me and I need to show it. Who knows how to reach my lawyer? Who knows how to access important information? All that stuff should be on your phone. Or you should memorize it. I hope you never need that plan. But responsible people prepare before emergencies happen, not after. Number 5, that you should do to survive this season of enforcement. Everything that goes up will always come down. I know that. But while everything is up right now, you better be up too, trying to make sure things don't catch you unawares. Don't create avoidable problems. That's number 5 now. Don't create avoidable problems for yourself. So let me be blunt. Many immigration disasters begin with things that never needed to happen. Thank you. Okay. All right. Fantastic. Is it doing Zoom?
Yes.
Okay. Let him know that I'm live. Okay. Yes. Number 5, don't create avoidable problems, especially for yourself. Let me be blunt here. Many immigration disasters begin with things that never needed to happen. A DUI, domestic violence allegations, fraud, false documents, fake marriages, tax issues, identity issues. My friends, life is already complicated enough for immigrants. Don't volunteer for additional complications. You know you are not a citizen, so you need to be much more careful. My job is not to take sides in the political debate. My job is to deal with the law, with what is happening, and help you to survive it. This is not where I'm going to be sharing my own opinion on what I think about this or what I think about that. That doesn't help you. My opinion doesn't help you. It is the law that helps you. And I'm telling you right now, if you're an immigrant, whether you already even have a citizenship, there are some things you want to avoid. If somebody is born here as a DUI, even if they put him in jail, at the end of his jail, he's going home. But you that was not born here, even if you have a citizenship now, they can use that and say, okay, because of this, we are taking you home. Or you go and be doing domestic violence. All that's what that we do in Africa. Now you got to calm down. Because if you do domestic violence as an American born in America, worst case scenario is they put you in jail and fine you or whatever. But at the end of it, you are going to your house. But if you are an immigrant, not only do you pay the penalty for that offense, now our immigration will try to take you back to your country. Because they already told you they don't want criminals here. Whether it makes sense or it doesn't make sense is irrelevant. They've told you what they're going to do. Don't deal with false documents. Don't do fake marriages. Pay your taxes on time. Pay your taxes. Don't get involved in identity issues. These are serious. We are already under siege as it is as immigrants. So you have to protect your record, protect your reputation, protect your future, and let our parents talk more to their kids who are not born here. They don't have the same rights as American citizens. Even when you have that passport now, the government has made it clear that though you have the American passport in your hand, you don't really have the same rights as the Americans who are born here. I'll let those who are debating politics debate that. Don't do that here. This is not a debating society. This is a place to help as many immigrants as possible avoid the consequences of immigration enforcement. So I'm not going to share my opinion on what I think about that. But I share my opinion on what I think you should do. Stay away from it. Don't go be joining them to abuse America on social media, telling them you have a right. That's you creating more problems for yourself, because they've already said it's in their rule now that they can go to your social media account and they can use the content they read there to decide whether they're going to let you become an American to stay here or not. You can debate whether that makes sense or that is fair or not. That's not my job on this show. I have other forum that I debate politics. But on this show, it's about you, survivor. Immigrant Survival Show is what it's called. Getting involved in unnecessary argument does not help you to survive. They can go to your Facebook and take all those comments that you are saying about Donald Trump to deport you. You want to be an American, but you are telling people on your social media that America is a bad place, America is a violent place. Why should they let you stay? You think about it. What is bad is not good. You can't want to be part of the American society and then you are telling American that it makes sense to me and I'm an immigration lawyer. If I'm the president of Nigeria, for instance, somebody cannot come from Ghana who wants to be a Nigerian and be talking crap about Nigeria. If I'm the immigration officer, I'm not going to give him the passport. Let's talk the truth to ourselves. Americans are not wicked. They are being normal. Because you know in your country, if a foreigner talks rubbish about your president, you know what you're going to do about that person. So don't come to America and say, okay, you have the freedom to call Donald Trump any name you want. No, you do not. A guest. I know you don't like to hear that. My job is to help you, to make sure that you keep your paper, to make sure that you stay in America if that's your goal. And I'm saying, number 6 that I'm advising you is don't create unnecessary problems for yourself. There's already enough problems that they can get you with. Don't give them more ammunition. Avoid creating avoidable problems for yourself. You can keep quiet about your thoughts on some of this stuff, especially if you know it is against government policy. Keep the thoughts to yourself. Don't even talk about it on WhatsApp. Somebody can screenshot it and share it on Facebook without you giving them permission. And then you get in trouble. Number 6, explore your options before you need them. Know your options before you have to choose an option. Because this is one of the biggest mistakes I see. Many immigrants wait until there's a crisis before they seek help. That's backwards. The best time to understand your options is before you need them, not after. You might qualify for something you've never considered. Family-based options, employment-based options, waivers, humanitarian relief, citizenship, permanent residence. But you'll never know if you never ask. Don't wait until you are desperate to become informed. When you are desperate, lawyers will take advantage of you. The system will take advantage of you. And you are going to make a lot of mistakes when you're desperate. So you don't want to wait until you are desperate before you start to sort yourself out with the options you might have. And finally, number 7, my advice tonight, and this may be the most important point of all of them. Number 7, do not panic. Because panic people make foolish mistakes. Panic makes people abandon good cases. Because you are panicked, they say you have a notice to appear in court and you ran away. You refuse to show up, where despite the fact that you could have won your case if you showed up. Panic makes people believe ridiculous rumors. That's why we saw the other day when they rounded up some people who are collecting thousands of dollars from people telling them they qualify for registry, even though they've not been in this country for 5 years. Registry that is for people who have been in America since 1971 or something. You must have been here like 50 years or so before you qualify for registry. But some people started running adverts saying that you can qualify for registry. They collected thousands. They even got them work permits before government finally caught up with them. But because they are panicking, they pay this money. And they say, oh, I've got my paper through registry. They are brandishing work permit all over the place. You saw last week when government now rounded up hundreds of them. and put them in deportation. Some were put in jail. When you are panicking, you believe anything anybody tells you. Panic makes people believe ridiculous rumors. Panic makes people fall for scams, and there's a lot of them now. Panic makes people make decisions they will later regret. Now, don't misunderstand me. I'm not telling you to ignore reality. I'm not telling you enforcement is not real. It's very real. It's why I'm talking about this. What I'm saying is that fear has never solved an immigration problem before. Panic has not solved any immigration problem. Preparation is what does it. Knowledge is what will do it. Planning is what will solve the problem. Getting good legal advice is what will solve the problem. Action is what solves problem. That's what works. And that's why I want to leave you with this final thought. A season of enforcement does not mean a season of hopelessness. A season of enforcement simply means a season that requires greater preparation. The immigrants who survive these moments are usually not the ones who spend all day worrying. They are the ones who spend all their time preparing. They know their status, they organize their documents, they understand their options, they protect their records, they seek competent advice, and they refuse to let fear make decisions for them. So tonight, instead of asking, what if something happens? I want you to switch it around and ask yourself, am I prepared if something happens? Because preparation creates confidence. Confidence reduces fear, and informed immigrants make better decisions. My friend, when enforcement increases, panic becomes a liability and preparation becomes an asset. Think about that. Now, when we come back, and that's the memo of the day, when we come back, we're going to be talking about the Banwo immigration brief, where we're going to break down the latest immigration developments, policy changes, and practical information every immigrant should know. Then after that, we go to the Q&A for the day. So don't go anywhere. You are watching the Immigrant Survival Show with Dr. Ope Banwo, and we are just getting started. Don't go away, and I'm going to show you a couple of videos where I've pre-answered some of your questions, and hopefully they will help you to handle your situation better. Someone posted this. I was arrested, but my case was dismissed. Will immigration still hold it against me? My short answer, yes, it can still matter. But first, my name is Ope Banwo, and for over 29 years, I've been helping immigrants achieve their American dreams without the nightmares. Many people believe that once a criminal case is dismissed, it disappears completely. I know, but immigration law does not always see it that way. Immigration looks at the full history, not just the final outcome in criminal court. Let me give you a few real-life examples. Say someone is arrested, and even though the case is dismissed, the record of the arrest still exists and may come up during background checks and cause problems in your immigration case. Another scenario, someone makes statements or signs documents during the arrest process that will later create issues in immigration law, even if the case never went forward. Another scenario, somebody has multiple arrests, all of them dismissed, but immigration can still look at the pattern and raise questions about credibility or admissibility. So the key point is this: dismiss does not always mean invisible, and immigration officers may still review what happened, not just how it ended, and use it against you. That is why it is important to understand your criminal history, even dismissed cases. You need to understand how they interact with your present immigration case. If you've ever been arrested and you are now trying to fix your status, do not assume that it will not matter just because you are not convicted. Go to speakwithope.com now and book a strategy consultation session. Speak to me today before your immigration dream turns into a nightmare. It matters. Alrighty. Now let's go straight back to immigration developments today and yesterday, because we need to speed up a little bit tonight. I know that was a long memo. Here are some things that because almost every night new things break out in American immigration, and we want to make sure that you are kept informed. That is the whole idea behind this marathon that we are doing. Even right now, I'm missing a consultation call, but I had promised my audience that every day I will come out and I'll try my best to answer some questions to update you on what is happening in America. So let us go quickly through some of them. One of the immigration updates that I thought immigrants would be would like to know is that the U.S. Secretary of State has now, that's Marco Rubio, has now announced more than 100 new visa restrictions targeting foreign officials and individuals accused of human rights abuses, political repression, and anti-democratic activities. I know this will interest a lot of activists in those countries, and even a lot of people in countries where the officials have been less than stellar in running the government. But why does this matter to you? Because it's been going around all day. I just wanted to know that this is not mass immigration restriction affecting ordinary immigrants, but it signals that the U.S. is increasing scrutiny of foreign officials, political actors, and individuals who are connected to government accused of human rights violation. And frankly, I welcome that, because a lot of these are countries where they are not being run well. I don't think they should allow the officials to travel. But this is not about me expressing my opinion here. My job is just to give you the information. Like I said, this show is not for me to come and be talking too much about what I feel. It's about how you can survive this. Immigration update number 2. We're hearing, and I want to be clear that I've been trying to get formal confirmation from USCIS on this, and I've not been able to get it, but it's on so many websites now that it's going up everywhere. Reports are circulating that the U.S. Department of State may be launching a pilot program allowing B1, B2 tourist and business visa applicants to pay an additional $750 fee to get expedited immigrant appointments. Well, I guess they're just responding to people's panic, to people's anxiety. Now they're saying you have to pay, at least I think it's beginning from July. If you want to fast forward your business visa, they say you pay $750. If implemented, from what we are hearing, the program will allow applicants to secure interview dates approximately within 10 business days at selected U.S. embassies and consulates. Because right now, in some countries, appointment dates are like 9 months ahead and 9 months behind. In other words, for you to get an appointment, you have to wait 9 months, some a year. But it looks like now they want to monetize that for the U.S. government. Again, I'm not giving my opinion one way or the other. My job is to bring the news to you. You can debate the politics of it. For years, long visa interview backlogs have frustrated travelers, business visitors, and families seeking to visit the U.S. So a premium expedited interview option could significantly reduce waiting times for those who are willing to pay the additional fee. But it is important to remind you of this. Even if such program is implemented from July, as we are hearing, getting faster interview times does not mean you're going to get easier approval. Faster interview time does not mean guaranteed visa. This is important. All normal eligibility requirements will still apply. So my own advice is never confuse speed with approval. A visa officer can still deny an application in 5 minutes. All your $750 is getting you is to get your interview on time. So the strongest visa strategy is not necessarily getting an earlier interview. The strongest visa strategy is having a well-prepared and truthful application, hopefully with the help of immigration lawyers that can help you make sure you prepare for all the conditions required. Let's go to the breaking news. Development number three in the last few hours. Of course, we've been hearing this, we've been talking about it, but now it is becoming a reality. The Donald Trump administration is seeking citizenship revocation in fraud cases. Like I said, they've been teasing it, they've been talking about it. But according to reports, the administration is moving forward with an expanded effort to revoke U.S. citizenship from certain naturalized Americans who allegedly obtained their citizenship through fraud, misrepresentation, concealment of some information, like say maybe you have a criminal record that you didn't disclose, or other disqualifying conduct. Like a joke, the Department of Justice has filed 17 denaturalization cases against naturalized Americans, alleging that they either lied during the naturalization process, or that they concealed criminal activity, or that they used false identities, or otherwise failed to meet the legal requirements for becoming U.S. citizens. The cases mostly involve allegations ranging from sexual abuse to fraud and other immigration violations and identity deception. Why does this matter? It's very clear. It looks like in America today, naturalization is not the end of your immigration journey. Many of us used to believe that once you become citizens, your immigration history can never be questioned again. This development is a reminder that citizenship obtained through fraud, material misrepresentation, or concealment can be challenged by the government even years later, even 20 years later. Now, of course, the focus of this is not on naturalized citizens who follow the rules, so don't go and start panicking, but on cases where the government believes citizenship was obtained illegally. And this should make many of you out there begin to worry, and why it is important to tell the truth always, answer the questions truthfully, do not try to conceal, because now they've joined all the databases, and things that you think will not come out will come out, and then you lose the citizenship that you work so many hours to get. And they're doing this, they're applying this to every area of immigration now, including citizenship. In case you don't get this well, one of the requirements for naturalization is demonstrating that you have good moral character during the statutory period before you apply. That is 5 years or 3 years, depending on your category. If the government proves that you concealed criminal conduct at the time, or you made false statements, or used fraudulent documents, or assumed a false identity, then at the time you got it, it may argue that citizenship was improperly granted, and they'll take it away from you. And of course, once they denaturalize you, you know what they're going next. They're going to try to deport you. Yeah, because now you have no citizenship, you have green card. Even the green card, they will seek to take it away. So you should be concerned if you have lied on your immigration forms, concealed arrest, used fake identities, committed immigration fraud, or submitted fraudulent documents. You better start praying that your file doesn't get picked up. This is the time you go to church and start praying now. Okay? But it's not everybody that should panic. If you obtained your residency, honestly, without lying, if you accurately disclose your history at the time you filled your forms, even if there's bad stuff there, if you disclose it, if you made a minor mistake that was corrected, that is not material to eligibility, then you have nothing to worry about. So simply being a naturalized citizen does not put you at risk of losing your citizenship. So I don't want us spreading panic all over the place. The policy is not aimed at stripping citizenship from lawfully naturalized Americans who follow the rules. It is focused on individuals whom the government alleges obtained citizenship through fraud, false statements, identity deception, concealment of qualifying conduct. So let's not spread panic here. tell the truth from the beginning. A green card obtained honestly is strong. Citizenship obtained through honestly is stronger. But a lie in an immigration file can follow someone for decades and eventually put everything at risk. Those are the developments for today that I want to share. The breaking news on immigration that I think will interest all of us out there, whether you are an immigrant who has already become a citizen, or you are still trying to find a way to even get your green card. It applies to every one of us. And when I come back, now we'll get to the Q&A. We're going to take a few questions tonight. I have a client who has been waiting on me now almost an hour for his consultation, but I promised him that I promised all immigrants that every day I'll be out here. I'll answer your questions. I will address new developments in immigration, and I did not want to disappoint those who are waiting for us to do this today. But we're going to run through it quickly. Then I'm going to go take that consultation that has been waiting for over an hour now. Let's quickly take some of your questions. Right now, we're not even going to have a break. We're just going to get to it. So the first question we're going to treat tonight is from Patel from Alexandria, who says, what is the difference between EB1 visa and EB2 NIW visa and EB2 visa and EB3 visa? Basically, he wants to know the difference between the different employment-based visas. There's EB1, EB2, EB3, EB4, EB5, and all of that. So let's get to that. All those EBs that you just quoted, and don't confuse it with the B1, B2 visa. That's the B1, B2 is just a visitor's visa. Okay? EB1 is employment-based immigration, category 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? They are employment green card categories. This one, they give you green card based on employment categorization, but they have different requirements. EB1 is for people with extraordinary ability, outstanding professors and researchers, or multinational executives. It often has faster processing and does not require a labor certification. In my personal opinion, that is the best employment-based route to green card. And why this should interest you if you've never heard of it before is that a lot of people underestimate their qualification for this EB1 because it's stated to be a genius visa. So people look at themselves and say, I'm not a genius, and they don't bother to even look at the requirements. But mostly it has 10 criteria, and you only need to show 3 out of those 10 to be able to qualify for the EB1. And you, your wife, and children under 21 become green card holders once you're able to get approved for that. There's the EB2. The difference between that is that EB2 is a special employment-based option that allows applicants to self-petition. That is the EB2 NIW, that is the National Interest Waiver category, allows applicants to self-petition without having an employer if their work substantially benefits the United States. And that is different from EB3, which is for skilled workers, professionals, and some unskilled workers, which usually requires you to have an employer sponsorship and what they call PALM labor certification. And it often has a lot of backlog because this is for some unskilled workers, regular skilled workers, and regular level professionals. It has a longer visa backlog. And you must have an employer who's sponsoring you, and there must be labor certification for you to qualify. And labor certification sometimes can take a lot of time. So that's basically the difference between those 3. So EB1 is generally the most selective and fastest, if you can qualify for it. EB2 NIW allows you to self-petition without an employer, while EB3 is commonly used for employer-sponsored workers. These are really the principal, but I can't go into too much details about that tonight. Hope that answers your question. Let's look at another question quickly. William says, my employer refused to allow me 21 days to review my severance agreement. What rights do I have? Well, this is not really an immigration-based question, and I really don't want to get into it because right here in Texas, I don't want to be accused of unauthorized practice of law. I only practice immigration law in the state of Texas because my license is from New York, and I represent people nationwide on anything that has to do with federal practice, that has to do with immigration, racial discrimination, and taxes and stuff. That's all we do. Okay, so I'm going to just skip that. Unfortunately, that is all I have for tonight because we have to cut it short. I know we have not answered enough questions for you, but it's the best we can do for today. We have to abridge it because I have clients who are waiting for me on Zoom, and I just wanted to come out here and answer a few questions. And if you have questions that I have not yet answered, please do not be disappointed. Just post it on the group or in the WhatsApp or in the comment section of wherever you are watching this now. We are live on Facebook, we are live on Twitter, we are live on YouTube, and we are live on LinkedIn. And I promise you, we'll either get in touch with you directly and provide answers for you, or we'll take down your question and put it as part of our questions to answer in subsequent editions. But before I go and talk to my client, let me look at some of you have made comments on here tonight. Nikki says, in times like this, information is not just power, it is protection. Every immigrant and their family should hear this conversation. Looking forward to another insightful session from Dr. Ope. Thank you so much for staying through it and being part of this show tonight. And Samuel Opon says, every episode provides useful tips and inspiration for navigating life abroad. Thank you, guys. And there's so many of you with comments out there. Unfortunately, my time for today is out. I was so busy during the day with clients, and we couldn't spend so much time on this show tonight. But I promise you, we're going to have a much longer time tomorrow. Remember, it is those who are prepared that will survive this season of enforcement. Before we go, there's a couple of videos where I also answer some questions there for you. My name is Ope Banwo, and they call me the Immigration Rottweiler. Not because I bark, not because I make noise, but because I don't let go. When your case gets tough, when the system pushes back, when others start telling you there's nothing we can do, that's when you call me. Because once I lock into your case, I don't stop, I don't quit, and I don't back down until we get results. So go book a consultation on speakwithope.com now, and let's activate the Rottweiler mode on your case. But as I began researching more into immigration law in the library, I discovered something even more shocking. There were dozens of legal pathways available to immigrants. Not just asylum as I thought. There were visas for extraordinary ability, visas for athletes, visa for performance, employment-based visas, several of them, family petitions, investor visas. Many highly educations around me could have qualified for visas like O visa, EB1 visa, or EB2 visas. Visas that could have given them permanent residency. But they didn't even know those options existed. So they lived underground, fueled by rumors of those around them, working out jobs with their degrees, hiding from immigration, living far below their potential. And then I also saw something even more heartbreaking for me. So some immigrants, when they finally gathered the courage to apply for legal relief, but when immigration scheduled them for interviews or court hearings, they ran away. Based on the advice of others, they believed the interview was a trap. What they didn't realize was that running away often destroyed their chances permanently of staying in this country. Well, that's it, guys. That's just part of my story that you can read or that you can listen to on our website, banwolaw.net, where I told my own immigration story, how I came to America, all the stuff I went through and how I was able to get my papers fixed. I told my full story on my website just to let you understand that whatever you're going through right now, I've been there before. I've woken up in the morning feeling anxious about how my life is going to go in America. And this was over 30 years ago. And look at me today. So you don't have to live in fear. You just have to choose to confront it once and for all. There may be more options that you think are out there for you. So I want to encourage you, if you need to talk to a lawyer about how to start, what options you have for your case, I'll be more than happy to consult with you. Just go to banwolaw.net/consultation or speakwithokpe.com. Both of them lead to the same place. I'll be more than happy to engage you, give you a 1-hour consultation either on Zoom or in person at our physical office in Arlington, Texas, or talk to a lawyer around you. That's fine. What you should not do is just sit down and be praying that this season too will pass. Yes, prayer is good, but preparation makes your prayer work better. Go look for an immigration lawyer to help with your case. I'll be happy to be the one to help you, but I also know there's a lot of great immigration lawyers all over the country, probably some with down your street. Go talk to them, pay them that little consultation fee. Know your options before you have to choose. And that's all I got tonight. Thank you once again for being part of this show. I will see you on behalf of myself and the 4 Musketeers. We will see you tomorrow. Good night.